Just setting up right now again, and it's gonna be a great one. It is Lucas Xing right now we have, and against Dennis Peroff. And right now, of course, we have Lucas Xing. He is playing the Gardevoir deck against Snorlax. This should be an interesting match. Again, Lucas Xing has a top 16 in Toronto Regionals, top 8 at Pittsburgh, top 32 at NAIC, and is the LAIC Senior Champion for 2018. So
incredible. Been playing for a while then.
Yeah, definitely a pro player right here. And again, playing the Gardevoir EX deck. One of the best decks in the format. Psychic Embrace, Shining Arcana. Shining Arcana, one of the things we are losing to the rotation. But again, powerful deck, good player equals good show, for sure.
Good show. And fun fact, Trico is his favorite Pokemon as well. But gonna be facing off against Dennis Peroff here. And Dennis is gonna be piloting that block Snorlax. Get hyped for it, Wancho. Let's take a look at these accomplishments here from Dennis. We have a world's top 32 in 2019, as well as a Toronto Regional top 16 in 2017. Both of these players are Canadian, as well as one of our judges on the stream table here. And of course, like I said, Dennis is going to be piloting this Snorlax deck coming up here. It's going to be intricate, it's going to be long, it's going to be super fun to get through this match, Wancho. I'm very excited, choosing to bring this deck into Vancouver, a very alternative play style, and Dennis has only been playing it for 1 month, folks.
Excuse me?
1 month been playing Block Snorlax and has now made it into our Masters top 4 here in Vancouver. Gotta have some skill behind the pilot of this deck.
That is talent, ladies and gentlemen.
Incredible.
Snorlax is one of the more complex decks to play in this format. I mean, I think Gardevoir EX is equally as complex for sure. And of course, Dennis is actually one of the people to teach Cyrus how to play.
Cyrus Davis?
Yes.
Incredible.
So, if this is Cyrus's teacher, you just know
Yes.
he knows how to play this game.
Yeah, we were talking about skill. I definitely expect to see a lot of it here from both of these players. We have a champion over here in Lucas Xing, and Dennis, a Worlds competitor as well, placed at Worlds and has taught some of the best players in this game, and Cyrus Davis as well. Both Canadians representing Canada here today, and both playing very interesting decks as well. Of course, Gardevoir, that we are very familiar with, and Block Snorlax, I will also say, is not a popular pick, but it's definitely a meta pick, that is for sure.
Definitely a meta pick indeed. But yes, we have an IC champion versus an IC champion teacher.
Indeed, and of course these players are fighting for everything here. There's a lot on the line. First place at our regional championship in the Masters division gets $10,000 in our prize money. So that's just one thing on the line, though. You also get the chance to finish out our format here with your deck, and that's pretty huge as well. Let's take a look at these prize cards as we're about to hop into this match and kick things off, Wancho.
All right, so some notable prizes here is that Mana Freeze prize that can stay there. A couple of Ball Searches and the IO. No, it doesn't matter too much. I mean, eventually you will find your card. You have the time, so the Ball Search cards don't matter as much for Dennis' side. However, these are some cards that could be stuck a little bit longer, since of course he is playing the Snorlax deck.
Yes.
Double Pokegear could lead to a less consistent start potentially, and one less boss's orders to work with. You definitely don't want that. But the water energy, I don't think is going to matter too much in this matchup.
The single water energy.
Yeah, so just getting that one card prize, probably not going to matter. But we'll have to see here. Of course, they are playing cards to get some of, they are playing some cards to get some of these prize cards out of the prizes. But right now, I believe we are just starting this match. Here we go. Top 4 of the Vancouver Regional Championships. Dennis Peroff is going to start us off.
Yeah, let's kick things off with a nest ball here on Dennis's side. Of course, starting in the active position as well, that Pidgeot V. What do you think about that, Wancho?
Not something you want to start with. Luckily, it's not in any danger at the moment. Pidgeot V, of course, with the Vanishing Wings ability, is a way to not deck out, right? And also, it's a Pokemon V. So it is a way to get a Forest Seal Stone attached, but luckily Rotom could do that as well. But yeah, right now, just double Nest Ball played. Let's get some Pokemon in play.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to just vanish away and end the game. We're going to get 3 Nest Ball here. Oh, my goodness.
That's 2.5, that's 1.5 VIP passes.
Yes, that's true. That's a lot.
No, 3 Nest Balls, 3 basic Pokemon, no Donk in sight. But yeah, again, we need to get the Pidgeot V out of the active. Without I believe the only way to get that, of course, are with the switch cards that we have access to. But, you know, right now, not in any danger. I don't think Gardevoir has the capability to really start swinging. And, of course, Instant Charge. Let's get some cards in the hand.
Let's get some cards in the hand, indeed. We're over on Lucas Xing's side of the field now. Starting with the Ralts in the active position and also going into the deck here for some Pokemon. But it's going to be with a level ball instead here, allowing you to search a Pokemon that's 90 HP or less for Lucas. So let's get into this matchup specifically, Wancho. How does this look on paper for you? What are we going to be seeing? Because this isn't your traditional Pokemon match that you're usually used to watching.
We're going to be seeing some attacks with the Gardevoir. We're specifically only going to see purple on one side of the board, or else it's danger. We're in danger because none of the non-purple cards, something like the Luminion, Jirachi, or the Radiant Greninja, Manaphy, if those hit the board, you know they're going to the active, and there's no way to attack with those Pokemon.
Yes.
So we're only playing Psychic Energy, and no switch cards as well, because typically Gardevoir does use just the energy acceleration from the discard pile to pay for any retreat cost necessarily. And there's one very important supporter card. We did see it flash there for a brief second. Of course, the Professor Turo's scenario. That is the only way to get something out of the active. Level ball for the Jirachi straight away is an interesting play.
Why is that, Wancho?
You're finding a Pokemon, putting it into
your hand. Because it's not purple?
Yes, it's not purple. And Erica's scenario is one way you can gust up something from the hand, interestingly enough. This may signify something like an Iono to ensure that Pokemon goes to the bottom of the deck.
Well, we're going to see some Ralts.
Oh, there's also Luminion, too. We want both of those things down to the bottom. Yeah,
that's exactly what we're going to see here right now, Wancho. The Iono, after searching out those cards from the deck into the hand, now they're going to the bottom here for Lucas. So that's not what you want to be drawing into here. And we're going to get some new cards for both of our players. 6 cards, because they each have 6 prize cards here off that Iono. Let's see what Lucas is working with now. We're going to have that energy attachment onto the Ralts here for the turn. Yes. Oh, wow. Is that 2 more Iono in the hands?
Yes. At this point,
a lot of supporters.
At this point, maybe if you're Lucas, you'd never want to shuffle the deck, right? You know that there is the Jirachi and the Luminion. At the very bottom, the Manaphy is prized. The only dangerous card to have in hand at this point is going to be that Radiant Greninja, right? So maybe by never.
There you go.
There's the Erica.
Yes, that's exactly what you called it there, Wancho. And Lucas has prepared for it. Expertise here that we're seeing on the stream here. So if you're just tuning in, if you've never even seen a Pokemon card before in your life, Dennis is working with a very different type of deck. It's a control deck. They play 51 trainers in this deck, and it's all the trainers that are trying to help you control as much of the board state as possible.
Real quick, Lucas Xing here, looking at their hand, they have the capability here to go with the aggression. Rare Candy into Shining Arcana Gardevoir. If they can hit the energy here, they're going to start swinging. There's the energy, but more importantly, they also drew the Radiant Greninja. That's a dangerous card in hand, but they do have an Iono here.
Ooh,
or to send it to the discard pile.
Ultra Ball it away. Radiant Greninja going to the discard pile here as Lucas is able to search out another Pokemon off of the Ultra Ball. Into that Kirlia here now. We are going fast here, Wancho.
I'm looking at the list. Again, it's a long list because it's a lot of different trainer cards. But I believe there is no Echoing Horn. Oh, no, there is. It was the very last one. There is an Echoing Horn.
That's a lot of cards to look at.
There's an Echoing Horn in Dennis Peroff's deck. That means that is one way to get that Radiant Greninja into play.
It was just shuffle back in with the Super Rod.
Okay.
Yes, so
Perfect.
you're good. As you were reading the list, Wancho, I was watching the game to make sure that we know that Radiant Grenade is back in the deck. So we're all good here, but these players are flying. This is fast pace for a Snorlax deck, but the Snorlax is joining us in the active here, along with that Bravery Charm, of course, that is beefing up the Snorlax to 200 HP. But that ability is what we're going to be looking at here on this Snorlax, the block. As long as this Pokemon is in your active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon cannot retreat.
Yes, and right now, Dennis can only go ahead and boss his orders. The Kirlia on the bench, and, well, that great play. Kirlia can't attack at the moment.
Yep, that's just going to be a restart from that Rotom V, which of course ends your turn, draws you another 3 cards here, and Lucas Xing is now taken off with this turn, attaching that energy onto the Kirlia.
Interesting. They have both Gardevoirs in hand at the moment. They could evolve one of them to either Gardevoir EX, try and accelerate energy from the discard pile, but there's nothing there.
Yes.
Or you could go into another Shining Arcana Gardevoir, try and accelerate from the deck, and maybe potentially attack this turn, or to send them both back to the bottom of the deck as well. Just keep yourself, have the refinement, have the options for later, and you might just be a pass this turn, or even potentially, is that a slap attack potentially on the Kirlia? I'm not sure what Kirlia's attack is necessarily, but it does do damage.
Let me pull it up for you.
Yeah,
it is slap
for
it's
30.
that's some damage. So okay, yeah, they corrected it there. That's gonna be 30 damage, a slap from the Kirlia. Not something you see every day, but that's still damage on the field now onto that Snorlax there from Lucas. Of course, that Iono as well gave a new hand to our players. And we saw the Sydney there taking that collapsed stadium away into the discard pile from Lucas.
That is a big discard there, because collapsed stadium is a way to try and bump out some threats that are on your bench. Again, threats are those non-purple Pokemon. But in my opinion, the only way that a non-purple Pokemon gets played is by Erica's invitation, and then it just goes straight into active. So maybe not as detrimental, but also hand knowledge at that point. Oh, and there we go. Refinement, getting rid of the Jirachi.
Yeah, but getting rid of the Jirachi, but Lucas is flying through these turns. I think Lucas has this down pat, what the strategy is here. So I believe we're going to see the Super Rod, which I already see in hand here for Lucas, to rescue that Jirachi out of there. But first, we're seeing some refinements here. Discard a card, draw 2 here for Lucas. If you like drawing cards, this is definitely a deck you want to be playing. That is for sure.
And yes, we do see the Luminion as well in the hand.
Nice.
So that means I wouldn't be surprised if we see something like an Ultra Ball to get that discarded as well, just so that we could go fishing and Super Rod it back into the deck as well.
Very true. Fog Crystal going to get us that Psychic Energy out of the deck there for Lucas as well. And that Ultra Ball discarding a Counter Catcher as well as the Luminion.
And boo, because of the slap from the earlier turn, this Gardevoir EX that does 190 damage is going to be enough to take a knockout on the Snorlax, surprisingly enough. So slap.
Incredible.
Big play set up there.
Lucas is playing like he's played against a couple of Snorlaxes in his day, I tell you what. You love to see it. You never see that slap from the Kirlia, but it makes all the difference here. And that's going to lead Lucas to a knockout on this Snorlax, even with that Bravery Charm, which is the chunkiness that's keeping that Snorlax alive usually. That's going to be the first prize card for Lucas to take. And we still, once again, only have purple Pokemon out on the field, Wancho. Over to Dennis now. Dennis, maybe like, wow, things are going pretty quick here. Going to start us off, of course, with an Arven, though, which is going to allow Dennis to search out a tool card and an item card from this deck. Putting the puzzle pieces together, as I like to say, for our control players.
Yes, the grab there is going to be that Counter Catcher plus the Forest Seal Stone. Forest Seal Stone, because, of course, translates to pretty much anything in the deck. But that Counter Catcher, again, the best thing they could get at this point is that Kirlia, but it is still a psychic Pokemon that can eventually attack, turn into a Shiny Arcana, translate into a knockout. It's just a matter of can Lucas attack this turn? Is there the Shiny Arcana in hand? Are there enough energies in the discard pile?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just a matter of are the pieces there. And at that point, if you have 3 Pokemon all powered up and that's all that's in play,
yeah,
things could be looking good. As Palpad was just played there, putting back in, again, that Erica's Invitation. At some point, Lucas has to draw one of those water Pokemon, right? At some point.
At some point, yes, you would think. Dennis is going to put another Bravery Charm down onto this Snorlax here. We also saw the Palpad here from Dennis as well.
Yes, again, Bravery Charm in the active Snorlax means 200 HP. The Gardevoir EX no longer can take this knockout. Maybe we start off again with another slap from a Kirlia.
That's true. We could see it. We definitely could see it. Well, Lucas is starting off this turn here with that Kirlia in the active. What do we see in the hand here, Wancho?
I see a blue card in the hand. I see a Radiant Greninja. That is a dangerous card to have in the hand. Yeah. And I don't think I see an Iono or anything at the moment.
To get it out of the hands? Uh-oh, yeah. Things could be getting pretty risky here for Lucas, and that's what Dennis is counting on here, that we can just wait a little bit of time, and eventually, like you said, Wancho, we're going to hit something that's going to help us capitalize on this game and take control back here from this Gardevoir player.
Yes, this is almost as if it's some sort of a dangerous juggle, right?
Yes.
It's something you don't see every day, but it's like, oh, I need the Pokemon in my hand, put it in the discard pile, put it back in the deck. Oh, let's Iono it, back into the deck.
Lucas, don't drop the Fog Crystal, please.
Yes, just hot potato with all these different Pokemon.
Yeah.
As Gardevoir EX is going to be the grab there off the Ultra Ball. You think that's going to be the next attacker as well? Is there enough Psychic Energy in the discard pile?
That is a good question, Wancho.
Psychic Embrace. We do have the attachment. We're going to see another slap here.
There we go. That's the slap from the Kirlia, what we just saw earlier. Of course, that Psychic Embrace is going to cause those damage counters onto the Kirlia there for Lucas. But Dennis now working with this turn after that Snorlax just got slapped. Slapped in your sleep, Wancho.
It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up, Snorlax.
Wake up, Snorlax.
Big Pokegear here. If they can find Erica's Invitation, we know for a fact it's in the hand. Iono. That's something Lucas loves to see. If that gets played, that means the Greninja goes back into the deck. But again, the deck should be fairly thin at this point. You wouldn't think that the downside of refinement in this matchup is getting the deck thin enough that it's going to be easier to draw into some of these cards.
That is very true. Well, we are going to see this Iono here from Dennis. So both of our players shuffling up here. These hands are going to go to the bottom of the deck. Lucas going to draw into 5, Dennis into 6.
Looking at Lucas's hand, don't see anything other than purple at the moment.
Okay, that's good to see. Well, it's just going to be an end of the turn here on Dennis's side. That restart here from the Rotom V3 cards ends the turn. Lucas now has the reins in this match. Going to start off with that first refinement from that Kirlia.
Some dangerous draws here, just forced to be using the Shiny Arcanas, the refinements to try and find an attacker. Because at the moment, I believe there is no Gardevoir EX, no Radiant Shiny Arcana Gardevoir in hand. So they might not even have an attack here besides another slap potentially. And right now, even if there aren't any non-psychic Pokemon in play, there is something like the Zacian. Oh, there is an energy, but there is no... Yeah, there is no evolution Pokemon. The Turo is in hand as well, which is a safety Pokemon. And again, Erica's Invitation is going to find themselves at basic Pokemon, but at least it's Psychic.
That is very true. At least it's Psychic indeed. That's what we want to keep seeing here. There goes Dennis again. We are flying through this match here. Dennis with the instant charge once again on that Rotom V. Lucas grinding through this turn here as well with the first refinement from this Kirlia.
Yes, I was thinking about it. One of the downsides as well of losing the Collapse Stadium is that these energies are now stuck on the Gardevoir or the Kirlias.
Yeah,
so if you can't get them to the discard pile, you might not be able to power up your other Pokemon.
That's spooky.
Right now there is 6, 8, 9, 11 energies in play.
Tell you what, those reversal energy are
Did Lucas try and retreat there for a second? Oh, right there.
Yeah, there we go, there we go. A little bit of a misstep there, but we corrected it there. We had the boss's orders. Getting that block Snorlax out of the way, Rotom V is going to come up, which is going to allow Lucas to retreat there, which is exactly what was needed to take that knockout as well. Another 2 prize cards down for Lucas Xing. Only 3 away now from taking this first game in our Masters top 4. Dennis promoting this Snorlax back up to the active position, the one that has the 3 damage counters on it. Counter Catcher is going to bring that Zacian V right back up into the active.
All Lucas needs is probably 2 more Psychic Energies in the discard pile so that they can at least start swinging with the Zacian. That would be nice. Definitely put into pressure. But again, Lucas is playing it perfectly here, translating some resources into retreats like the boss's orders there on the Rotom, turning that boss into a retreat, Plus, Yakima was just played there, getting rid of a reversal energy, which at the moment that means that Corellia is only stuck with 2 energies. And Lucas actually opting to play the Turo scenario right now to just keep the pressure on.
I like it. Going aggro here, putting that Zacian V back into the hand, and now the discard pile here for Lucas.
It's in the discard pile, but again, Echoing Horn is still something to be afraid of, and I believe I do see at least a Radiant Greninja, I believe. Oh, I saw a water Pokemon in the hand, and using this rod right now does mean, if you use that right now, I believe that should be the last Super Rod.
No, there might be one more. Oh, no. There might be one more.
All right, but in either case, that Zacian V does stay on the discard pile. Not the worst thing to get Echoing Horn. This could be bait here, trying to bait out the Echoing Horn, and
That's true, yeah.
Ooh, and there it is.
Oh, no, Wancho. Is this how it starts here?
Is this the beginning of the end for this game? The Turo scenario was already played. This Luminion is stuck in the active. If Dennis Peroff never benches another... also getting the Echoing Heart on the Zacian. I think Lucas only has something like the Palpad left to depend on to try and take a knockout. And that's not... And he's still 2 prizes away. If he was in a scenario where he was down to 1 and all he needed was a Palpad, that'd be great. But as soon as that Luminion is played, or as soon as the Luminion is brought back to the hand, you just know that it's going to... You just know it's going to get Erica's back into play. Again, Lucas is so close here. 2 prizes left to winning this game, potentially.
Hey, but you could be 2 prizes left and then just get stuck in an instant Wancho, and that could be potentially what happens here. It all comes down to this. We saw this in our last Snorlax block game as well. It comes down to your resources and the lack thereof resources as well. It comes down to when exactly you play something. The sequencing is so important, and if you only slightly missequence something, you could have slipped up and lost the game in an instant.
So Lucas here is going to need to put a couple of cards together. He's going to need the Palpad to put back the Turo, and he's also going to need something like an Ultra Ball to get rid of that Luminion plus the Rod. We know he still has that Rod. He hasn't used it yet. So if he can put those specific cards together, plus this Iona, which is great, does find the Palpad.
Yep, Palpad's going to allow Lucas to shuffle those supporters back into the deck. That's huge.
And as well as limit Dennis's hand. Yes, just bring it back to at least 6.
Yeah, six is a lot of cards, but not when your opponent's hand was like 20 before.
And yes, just going for the refinement there. Drawing cards now, wants to put those cards together.
Here, drawing into those, no energy off the Shining Arcana, just 2 cards to the hand. It's going to be a pass now over to Dennis. That Luminion, as of now, still stuck in the active. Dennis now putting these pieces, these puzzle pieces back together as well. Palpad going to bring that Erica back out.
Yes, just really showing what supporters are important to both these players. For Lucas, it's Turo. For Dennis, it's Erica and that Arvin. But yes, right now, something that could be very scary here, Boo, is right now there's only 4 bench Pokemon in play. If Dennis plays another Erica's and gets that Radiant Greninja right now in Lucas's hand, that means there's 2 water Pokemon in play, and that is very scary. Dennis here grabbing the Luxurious Cape, which is a very interesting card. Increases the HP of the Pokemon by plus 100, which is a lot,
Woo!
but it's giving an extra prize. Not entirely sure if you want to play that right now, because if we can get out of the active and take 2 prizes, then we win the game.
Yeah, that's a bit scary for sure, but still at least being thinned out of the deck, not coming down, but Arvid's going to get it out of there. We're back over to Lucas now, who's going to be benching that Ralts.
I like that play. Again, I mentioned I was afraid of that extra bench space getting filled up by another Erika's, but by filling it up there with that Ralts, that means there's only Psychic Pokemon. And Lucas here not even drawing a card, just opting to just pass for the turn.
Look at that. We're passing back and forth between these players. A pass from Dennis back over to Lucas.
I see it in hand. He has...
Shining Arcana here for 2 more cards. Passing back to Dennis now. And here we have the Misfortune Sisters.
Nothing really important that could be discarded. Again, everything important is in hand.
Yeah.
There is, I did see the Ultra Ball. I saw the Super Rod. Those are 2 items you want in hand because you want to pick up that Minion, Ultra Ball, put it back into the deck. So they're in hand. It's perfect. All we're waiting for right now is the scenario, and we're going to start swinging.
Yeah, that's all we need here from Lucas to get this Lumineon V out there that's stuck and not able to do anything at the moment thanks to this Snorlax. But Dennis is going to make sure to keep track of all of these resources in the discard pile for on the right side of our field here, and is actually going to go with a Silene for this turn. Oh my gosh, those dice are everywhere. Have to hit some heads here. It's just going to be a reroll. Yeah, that's at least 1 heads. Maybe potentially could be 2, 1 rolled off there, but this is going to allow you to take those cards out of the discard pile and put them back on the top of your deck in any which way you would like.
Looks like it's going to be the counter catcher or potentially that Pal Pad. A great way to just essentially go infinite is go Silene into the Pal Pad, which is definitely a way some players have, some control players have opted to play their decks to not deck out. And I believe it was just a pass from there. Drew the card. It's just draw pass. We're just draw passing here.
We are drawing and passing here in our Masters Top 4. That is the last card. Lucas has to do something here now. Iono is just going to shuffle both of those hands and put them back into, I would say bottom of the deck, but it's just a deck here for Lucas. Into 2 more cards here, which is going to allow for this draw once again.
Again, Lucas here, after the Iono, is drawing even more cards, maybe trying to draw back into those control pieces. Maybe Lucas opting to try and control Dennis's hand a little bit before they go for the all-in play.
Yep.
Because again, there is only 1 Turo left in the deck. And Dennis knows this. Dennis knows Lucas put back in that 1 Turo with that Pal Pad. Again, opted not to play that turn. We know he had it in hand because there was no deck.
Yes, exactly. Dennis playing that Peonia for the supporter for turn, allowing you to kind of shuffle up your prize cards, taking 3 and then switching 3 back into the prize cards from your hand. Lucas over here now. Here we go, Wancho. The Lumineon V is gone off the field here, and that Gardevoir is joining us in the active position.
And I do see the Super Rod. Maybe Lucas here. Oh, no, there's no need a Super Rod anymore because the 1 Echoing Horn has already been played. So getting them to the discard pile perfectly here. And is going to opt to use this Super Rod, maybe put back a couple of evolution Pokemon because there is still a Ralts in play that could still turn into a Gardevoir.
Yep, you can do Pokemon or basic energy cards. It's going to be 3 Pokemon, though, here from Lucas. So getting those vulnerabilities back into the deck here, as well as that Curlia. So Snorlax going down for Lucas. Only 1 Snorlax left, 1 prize card left to take as well. Dennis going to start us off with an Arven.
Arven, of course, can find that cape. At this point, doesn't matter if you're giving up 2 prizes or 1. You're, this is the final Snorlax. And that counter catcher to grab a Pokemon that cannot attack. And this has to be the Zacian, I believe. If you grab the Ralt, it could still teleportation burst to get back to the bench. Zacian is going to need a lot of energies to start swinging here.
Yeah.
Again, without the Collapse Stadium, there's no way to get energies from your Pokemon to the discard pile.
Yeah, are these energy just going to be stuck on the board here for Lucas? Going to take a look at the discard pile.
There's one
it's just
psychic energy.
One psychic energy here for Lucas in the discard, and only one prize card left to take. But Dennis has done absolutely everything. That Zacian V is stuck in the active position as of now. Let's see if Lucas has any outs to this, Juancho.
Yeah, right now, I believe I did see at least one psychic energy in Lucas's hand, so this Zacian can at least get 2 energy attached, but it needs 3 to start swinging. It's just a pass. If Dennis can play this Erica here, he should just win this game. I believe I do see a water Pokemon. I'm not sure if he plays Erica and there's a water Pokemon, that just guarantees he wins the game. And there it is.
There it is. Dennis getting that Luminion V back out onto the field and just passing the turn here back to Lucas. And we're passing back and forth once again, Juancho.
It's just pass until a deck out. Lucas could be just potentially playing until a misplay, right?
That's true.
Dennis plays...
You have to do everything in the top 4. Absolutely everything.
100%. If Dennis plays something like maybe a Mimikyu or the Rotom or the Pidgeot and forgets to fly back, we can boss and retreat. But right now, all we need is a Snorlax. 1 card left in the deck. I'm pretty sure it was a Curlia. Draw.
Yeah, just looking at the board here, Lucas passes, and that's going to be it. Dennis is going to pass back, and Lucas has no card to draw from the deck, which is a game loss here, and Dennis Peroff has pulled it off. Wow, that was incredible.
Oh, what is Lucas feeling at the moment? They were this close. You could practically taste the win at that point. One prize away.
Block Snorlax taking down Gardevoir in our first game here in our Masters top 4 in an incredible way here. Wow, that was a lot to watch, and like you said, Juancho, it was so close. We did see these knockouts here from Lucas. We saw a lot of aggression in this game between our players here. Just going for it, taking out that first knockout, then taking out this Rotom V as well, taking another 2 prize cards, and slowly whittling away at Dennis's deck here. But Dennis was able to pick things up here, and all of the energy was just stuck on the field here for Lucas.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lucas he plays 10 psychic energy and 2 reversal, which is pretty standard for a Gardevoir, but there's no way to power up 4 Pokemon with 3 energies a pop. With the Masters, just doesn't work out that way.
Yep, you have so many variety of attackers, but it does require quite a bit of energy here, which usually is no issue for Gardevoir, but not when you're not able to hard retreat and get those energy back into the discard, or you're not being knocked out either to get those energy back into the discard to recharge other attackers. So Dennis Peroff once again pulling things off with Block Snorlax. Only been playing this deck for a month, mind you, so there is so much skill behind Dennis Peroff. The brain is churning here, I'm sure. Has made it all the way to Masters top 4 with this deck, and that is just incredible to see.
Well,
love it.
1 point here to the teacher so far, but we need 1 more to be able to make it to the finals. Again, I believe I just want to talk about how Lucas can adjust to be able to win the next game. I think 1 key card, definitely nothing in his control, that's for sure, but a key card maybe would be that Collapse Stadium. The energy was stuck on a lot of their Pokemon. If they could have gotten an even bigger play where they go Collapse Stadium, get the energies back to the discard pile, and then you can load it up onto Shining Arcana Gardevoir to take a knockout on that Snorlax that had so much HP.
But it was lost. It was lost
very
to the
early.
Sydney.
Yeah, again, nothing in his control.
Choice, exactly.
But it could have been big. He was doing a lot of juggling to get Pokemon back into the deck. Maybe that's another way you get the stadium into the deck as well. But again, that's a lot of juggling. And now we're starting out with a Scream Tail.
Yeah, let's see if we can keep up this juggling here between our players. A bit of an interesting start from both sides. This is our Masters top 4 going into our game 2 between Gardevoir and Block Snorlax control deck. Dennis is taking a look through the deck here. We have the Forest Seal Stone already down on the field on that Rotom V. That's on the bench as well. And that Safeguard Mimikyu is in the active position. Easily getting out those 2 Snorlax onto the field with that Battle VIP pass.
I'm not going to lie. I like how Dennis, or arranged his Pokemon, almost like, oh, we're going to protect the Rotom is the king here. He's going to drawing us cards. But yes, 2 Snorlaxes on both sides. A lot of Pokemon in play. Lucas has a Screamtail, which is a pretty good attacker. Again, it could attack the bench, which could be key at some point. And it doesn't require a lot of energy to get a lot of damage into play. But
2
you could
energy,
also...
not bad.
Yeah, 2 energy to do, at that point, what, 80 damage? So
knocks out the Mimikyu, right?
At least the Mimikyu.
Yes, that is true. Well, that was our first turn here from Dennis. Just a Battle VIP pass, bringing out these Pokemon, establishing that Rotom V. That's huge. And we're back to Lucas. Now, let's see what the what this established board looks like on the first turn for Lucas.
Yeah, you almost wonder, is there even is there a possibility where Lucas tries to just fill the board with psychic Pokemon? Technically, everything can attack.
Yeah.
But that means you're never ever playing around something like the Erica's Invitation anymore or Echoing Horn. However, the question is you can't power up that many Pokemon, not 5 psychic Pokemon anyway. But again, I'm curious to see how Lucas was trying to play this. We've seen the whole juggling act already in that first game. Let's see if there's any other tricks up Lucas's sleeve.
Yeah, I mean, taking notes here, making sure to keep track of the resources. It's going to be so important for Lucas to continue to do that. Let's check out the hands, too. Do you see anything important as far as our initial hand here for Lucas? We, of course, have this Fog Crystal. It's going to get us an energy out of the deck.
Yes, the Fog Crystal gets energy, can at least power up that Screamtail. That Screamtail can start swinging, I believe. It also has, if I'm not wrong, Slap as well.
No way.
It's
Another
for 1
one?
energy.
Oh my gosh.
These Lucas's Pokemon are just rude.
The Psychics be slapping here. They are slapping today. Yeah, Screamtail does have that slap move. It's going to do 30 damage. Once again.
And that is pressure.
It is pressure. And I think seeing as how Lucas played in the last game, that's probably what we're going to see again, as that energy does go down onto the Screamtail. Dennis already preparing the damage counters there. But first, we're going to see an Iono. This is turn 2 here. So Lucas is able to play a supporter for the turn. And it's going to be that Iono getting 6 fresh cards for both of our players.
Curious to see what Lucas is trying to find with this Iono. I don't know if they want even more Ralts in play. Looks like they do, potentially, yes. I believe there was no water Pokemon in that opening hand in any case. So that was...
I don't think so, yeah.
In any case, that was a safe hand, quote unquote. Right? You are protected from Erica's. I would have used maybe the Iono once a water Pokemon goes into your hand. Oh, no, that's when we put it in.
Oh, look at that. We actually just had the retreat here to get that energy into the discard pile. Now we have the Ralts in the active. That's not bad, too. So, hey, the damage counters you prepared, Dennis, not going to be used just yet. And we're back to Dennis's side of the field now. So let's take a look at this hand for Dennis.
Yes, of course. Mimikyu in the active has this safeguard ability. Not block. But
ooh, look at this. It looks like a lot of thought went into that, but the Penny is going to end up picking up that Safeguard Mimikyu off of the field into a Snorlax here.
Very important to get that out of play, because again, we mentioned earlier, translating some resources into retreats, like the boss's orders on the Rotom. If you could boss Rotom retreat and then boss Mimikyu retreat, that's 2 switches technically.
Yes, that's true.
Getting that out of play, very big. Now there's just only the Snorlax and the Rotom.
Snorlax and Rotom, the party, the whole gang is here now for Snorlax, the main priority of this deck, and it's just going to be an instant charge now from that Rotom V. 3 cards, ends your turn. We're back to Lucas now, who's going to evolve into that Kirlia. We're going to see another energy card hit in the discard pile here now into another 2 cards draw for Lucas. We see another Kirlia that probably was drawn into there, another refinement with that level ball hit in the discard pile. We're drawing cards, Wancho.
Nothing blue just yet, but there is that Zacian. But it's still fairly okay to have. Avery is played as well.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So
this is a big discard.
Yeah, this is going to force Dennis to go down to a bench of only 3 Pokemon, which means Rotom V, along with that Forest Seal Stone, is hitting the discard pile for Dennis. That's a little different from what we saw last game.
Yes. I'm starting to think now if Lucas maybe regretting that Avery. Now you don't have the Pokemon V in play any longer. That's a good thing and a bad thing, right? If we can combine that with something like the future Iono, maybe Dennis gets stuck without their instant charge. The deck is still fairly thick for both these players.
True.
Yes, disruption. Iono to 6 necessarily isn't disruption.
Yeah.
Because that's still 6 cards. But when you have a hand of, what, 20?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like 20 cards, so 6 is a lot less compared to that.
Math checks out. Math checks out.
Absolutely. Well, Dennis has no instant charge now. That Rotom V has been wiped off the field thanks to that Avery. So it's just going to be Lucas now playing out this turn. We're going to see the Refinement discarding that Zacian V, that Psychic Pokemon, into the discard pile. Have you seen any blue Pokemon yet, Juancho? I don't think I've seen any.
No, I don't think I've seen any blue Pokemon just yet, but there is that Zacian at the very least in the discard pile. I believe there is the Super Rod, and now would be the turn to play it, potentially. Or just the knockout here on the Snorlax.
Absolutely. That's going to be the Miracle Force from that Gardevoir EX, accelerating those energy to be able to use it. 190 knocking out that Snorlax that was already slapped up.
Ooh, and there's the Arven. I believe there is a water Pokemon in the discard pile. So Arven here could find the Echoing Horn. Sure enough, there it is. That is the one-off Echoing Horn. Maybe
you gotta
Lucas.
do the honk, Juancho. Honk.
Yes, the Echoing Horn. No sound effect. There it is.
The Echoing Horn. Yeah. Added sound effect. Definitely wasn't boo.
And yeah, there. Right now.
Now you gotta do it.
Greninja in play.
Oh my gosh. Honk. The Echoing Horn, bringing out that Radiant Greninja onto the field. That's exactly what you don't want to see if you're Lucas Xing. That is a blue Pokemon that has joined us, and that is scary.
Now's the time we're trying to look for the Turo. So something that could happen here at the very least is now Lucas never has to play around the Echoing Horn anymore. It's a one-up card. Unless, of course, you Silene it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could shuffle it back. You could shuffle it back.
You Silene it, okay, there, you still have to play around it. There's too many things to play around at the moment. But right now, there's already a blue Pokemon in the active.
Yes. One step is down. That is very true. Like you said, Juancho, with Block Snorlax, you can go infinite with anything in the deck. Never underestimate it, I'll tell you that much.
You could
There's
also
51 trainers in there.
You can also hope for all the tails all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
all tails all day.
Yeah, definitely. Dennis in a very, very good position here right now. Lucas still has to take 5 prize cards, while Dennis is technically already at their win condition.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a tall order.
Blue Pokemon in play, stuck in the active.
We're passing. We're passing back and forth here. Lucas, needs a way to work around this situation. It's kind of a pickle compared to last game where those Pokemon really didn't come out until towards the end of the game. But now that Radiant Greninja is stuck in the active here, thanks to that Block Snorlax, Lucas is just going to have to work with drawing into some more cards here, getting some more cards into the discard pile from these Shining Arcanas.
Yes, and it's at least putting in the work, right?
Yeah.
The Radiant Greninja's in play. Might as well conceal cards, discarded an energy. Worker draws at least 3 more. The hand is big.
Yeah, it's a lot of cards.
If Dennis could Erica again and get another Pokemon, another non-psychic Pokemon in play, that could be pretty scary. But you could also just save it right now. And again, Lucas here trying to draw into the Turo. The downside is you can't Turo and Iono in the same turn.
Yeah.
So that could be something you want to be.
Only one supporter a turn. That is kind of a dilemma that Lucas has. We saw the concealed cards into 2 more card draw. We're going to see the Ultra Ball now, discarding that Manaphy as well as the Curlia into the discard pile.
Yeah, so they're in the discard pile right now. Fairly safe. Haven't seen any Silenes just yet.
Not yet, yes.
And Lucas' deck is getting pretty thin there.
Yeah. We've been drawing cards here, Juancho. A lot of cards.
As long as Lucas doesn't go down to like 2, they should be fairly safe from something like the Crabominable. Right?
Ooh.
I'm sure he does not playing around that at the moment. There's already a different water Pokemon that's scary in play.
Yes. Indeed, we're going to see this Shining Arcana now from Lucas, drawing into 2 additional cards here. Level Ball, and didn't catch that. Oh, I think it was the Reversal Energy as well.
The hand is huge. At what point do you just bite the bullet? Do you just go for it? You go Turo attack, or Iono, try and draw into the Turo, and then attack next turn. So you at least disrupt first, and then do get the supporter.
When would you do it, Wancho? If you were Lucas right now, what would you do?
I'd probably wait. If I don't have it in hand right now, I do it right now. Iono guarantees I draw the Turo.
Yeah.
However, if the Turo's in hand, that means you're Iono, and I do it at the very bottom of the deck to potentially at least draw back into the Turo.
Yeah.
So
that's oof.
One or the other, or you just do it now.
They just do it now. Well, there you go, Professor Turo's scenario. We're getting into it now. We see that Gardevoir EX come up. That Radiant Greninja is out of here for Lucas Xing.
The sad thing is, this was the moment we've been waiting for, but it's still not enough. It's just 190 damage, just lacking a slap here.
Yeah, lacking a slap indeed. That Snorlax, normally 150 HP, but with that Bravery Charm up to 200, just 10 short.
And how many cards left in the deck for Lucas?
No way, we're going to see it, Wancho!
It's the win condition. Crabominable
be a card we're losing to rotation, but it's making one last showing here for Dennis Peroff. And that is going to lead to a win here for Dennis and this block Snorlax. Incredible. That is an amazing way to go out, Wancho.
Down to 2 cards. Again, when you're thinking of so many different things, sometimes you forget one of a certain blue crab.
Yup. The crab with the bangs coming out for one final bang here. And that's going to get Dennis into our finals here in Vancouver. Block Snorlax advancing.
But what a match. Give it up to Lucas Xing, who played the best that they could play there. Again, very, very tough matchup. They did have at least that one of Turo, but just doing the whole juggle, trying to not let the Pokemon get stuck in the hand, put it not in the discard pile either. But yeah, let's see some replays now. Again, from game 1, where the Snorlax that was damaged by a very rude slap is woken up by this Gardevoir's. And again, the boss's orders, that translates into some prizes. Great play again, once again, from Lucas Xing. And so close. You can see here, 3 prizes left. Another slap Snorlax woken up.
Yeah, woken up with with a nice slap there. Lucas was so close, went all the way down to just 1 prize card left in this game, and could taste the win here against Dennis, but was not able to keep it going. That last Snorlax with a cape on it. And Dennis was able to take that Lumineon out, and that was the liability, unfortunately, for Lucas. All the energy stuck on the board here. Even though the Lumineon V was able to come up, it just wasn't able to clutch it there.
Of course, in game 2, with the Radiant Greninja already in the discard pile, blood in the water. It was Arvin for specifically the Echoing Horn in combination with the counter catcher, and just like that. Very early win condition setup. And yeah, Dennis Peroff just playing this deck for 1 month. Playing it absolutely perfectly.
And the Crabominable with the Trigger Avalanche. There is only 1 single water in this entire deck, and it is meant for that scenario right there. Dennis Peroff milling those cards out of Lucas's deck and taking the win there with that 2-0 victory. Wancho, you'll love to see it. Having the crab on stage here, that is like my dream come true.
And for one last, oh no,
I know.
He's still in the finals.
That's
crab
true.
In the finals,
we could see the crab once again.
No, but yeah, what?
One of my favorite Pokemon.
What was it? Crabominable? A great Pokemon. And again, leading to a top 4 win.
Yep.
The teacher takes out the champion.
Yes.
And potentially the teacher is going to turn into a champion themselves.
Potentially going to be advancing into the finals, of course, having to take down one last match, and we could potentially see Block Snorlax take home Vancouver.
Is Block Snorlax going to be the last champion in this format? Oh, that's going to be interesting. Again, it's been amazing past couple of matches. I'm glad I got to see Mew VMAX in the top 8. You're glad, I'm sure, to see Crabominable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we